Hi guys, it's Tuesday morning and I thought I would do a video blog post today because I'm going to be talking about physical health and it's just easier for me to speak it than write it. Also, I think it's easier to understand sometimes when you're hearing the person share their thoughts as opposed to reading it at times, especially with this topic. For me, it is. So let me first start by saying hello, and I hope your week's going really good. Um, it has been a whirlwind week for me. I haven't written about it on the blog, but people who follow along on Instagram know that my dad had surgery yesterday. He has skin cancer, and they found out last week that he had um, malignant melanoma on his arm, and they removed it yesterday, and they're sending out the tests to make sure they got everything. So, for those of you praying for him, I really appreciate it, and I know my parents do. And he's at home resting, and I delivered a big bag of food to them this morning, and um, I'm going to make him some more food in just a few minutes after I get done with this. And so, thank you for continuing to pray for them. So I want to talk about this because it's now, if you've followed along, you read my blog post about health. If you've been following on Instagram, I've been writing about it a little bit more just because it's becoming more a part of my life now. Um, but I only want to talk about one part of overall physical health. I feel with my journey that it's been a three-pronged um, kind of journey for me. It's been, I wrote down notes, so if I keep looking down, that's what I'm looking down at. It keeps me on track. It's been a three-part journey for me. It's been physical, emotional, and spiritual. And when I was forced kind of into this physical reconstruction of my health, and I started getting healthy with my physical body, it highlighted the other places in my life that I needed to focus on health as well, which were emotional issues pertaining to myself personally, and then also my reactions and actions towards others, and also my emotion or my spiritual health. Because as a Christian and as a believer, everything to me is based on, or my hope is that everything I do is based on the Lord and what He desires for my life and for my family. And I began to see, as I was trying to get healthier in my physical life, that I was not as healthy as I should be in my spiritual life, and I was choosing to do things separately. And what this physical health journey has done for me has made me realize that I cannot compartmentalize my health or other facets of my physical and emotional life. It all goes together. So, because I feel like each of those segments of my life deserve the right amount of attention, I'm only going to talk about physical health today, and then hopefully in the future I'll also be able to talk about spiritual health and emotional health and how that kind of came to a head with this new health journey I'm on. So today marks 6 weeks that I have been living differently, eating differently, fueling my body differently. You can go back a couple blog posts and read what brought this on, but basically, in a nutshell, I went to the doctor on March 11th with an ear infection after being sick so many times in the prior year, and found out that my blood pressure was through the roof. Also, my weight was higher than it should have been, and something snapped. The doctor was basically like, you need to get this under control. This is ridiculous. You're too young to have high blood pressure like this, and you need to handle your situation. So I did. March 12th in the morning, my brother came over. He's a personal trainer, has studied nutrition, and is certified, and basically is helping me change my life, has along with my doctor and the nutritionist at the doctor's office. We're working on making a total health shift. 6 weeks in, and I feel better than I ever have in my life. I feel better today, physically, than I did when I even weighed probably about 25 pounds less than I did before I had kids. And I was, especially like attitude-wise, energy-wise, I cannot remember a time, even when I weighed my lowest, which I think was maybe 135. I think I remember weighing that at one time, because I'm fueled better, I'm eating better, and my health is dependent on healthy foods, not diet foods. So all that to say, 6 weeks and I feel like a completely different person, and it's been awesome. Really, really awesome to feel this way. I can't remember a time feeling this healthy. I can't remember a time feeling like I have this much energy. Also, I think everybody views it as I'm gonna have so much energy and I'm gonna be on top of the world and want to do 9 million things when I'm this healthy. But really, if anything, I have started to feel more peaceful, and introspective, which has really, really been great for me in a lot of areas. What I wanted to talk about today, what's important for me to share is the reasons for being and starting a new health shift. At first, for me, it was solely about getting my weight down and getting my blood pressure down. That was immediate for me because all that was on my mind was getting healthy for my family and for myself and not being at risk. And that's what it started as. And that is an important enough reason to start anything like this, is getting your weight down and getting your blood pressure down. That is a good enough reason. And that was my only reason at the onset of it. On March 12th, when I sat with my brother and talked about this, that was my reason. Along the way, in the last 6 weeks have been all about devouring information and reading and learning. And in that 6 weeks, it has become less about the weight and the blood pressure, although it's awesome to be dropping pounds. And I'm not even kidding. The weight is just like humming off. It is very quick, which proves how poorly I was taking care of myself before. But it's become less about those two things, and more about overall health. And it made me realize something about our culture. It made me realize something especially about women, is why I believe fad diets and chasing after numbers and chasing after sizes will always fail for people. The reason I believe personally that this will happen is that I really think people have to have a real reason why they want to be healthy and why they want to lose weight. If it's only all about getting down to a certain number on the scale and fitting into a certain size pants and being able to wear, whatever it is that's motivational to them, as a bikini or whatever, because that is superficial and because it is based pretty much only on emotions and satisfying what others think of you, and you're not doing it for your own health, inevitably, I really feel if that is the only reason, eventually that will fall out from underneath you. Because we are emotionally unstable humans, just everybody is, we're emotional creatures. I believe if your only motivation is something shallow and superficial, you can ride that wave for a while, but inevitably there has to be an underlying factor that is of some kind of depth. And so for me, I had to grab onto motivations that are eternal and that will last. And those to me were being healthy so I can live long for my family, being healthy so I can be a good example to my daughters that you can live an exuberant and passionate life, having the best health I can have, because I feel, for me, it was a sin issue when I was deliberately choosing unhealthy things to put in my body. And those are reasons to me that I can stand on forever. Because in the end, in 15, 20, 30, 40 years, it's not going to be the same as it is now. It's not going to be wearing a size 8 pair of pants. Those ideals and those desires at some point will become unimportant. They should become unimportant, because that's not what life is about. So if that's the only motivating factor, I feel like that's why so many people fail over and over and over again, because it's based on shallow premise. And there has to be a motivation. It has to be greater than your looks. It has to be about personal health. So for me, that's when motivation entered in. I had to realize why I was doing it and what the important reasons were why I was doing this. I need to take care of the body that God gave me. He gave me one. It's my responsibility to take care of it. Okay, so my diet, lots of you have asked, so I'm going to quickly explain to you my diet. I really believe now, after being on this for 6 weeks, I believe you are what you eat. I believe that we as Americans, we compartmentalize all of our issues. We make our infertility about just that. We make our obesity just about that. We make our headaches just about the headache. We make our chronic fatigue just about that. And instead of looking at your body as a whole, which is what it is, and seeing what you are taking in and deciding that that has an effect on everything else, on all the other issues that you are dealing with. So what I had to look at was what I was putting in and what I was experiencing. When we sat down, I had too much fat on my body, I had high blood pressure, and I had a list of symptoms. They all needed to systematically be removed because they were affecting my day-to-day life, my spiritual life. They were affecting everything. So we started out with a plan of caloric intake, carbohydrate intake, good fat intake, and protein intake, which gets specific based on my body. That would have to be specific for you when you spoke with a nutritionist or a trainer. But there are some things I do not eat. For the last 6 weeks, I have abstained from red meat. I've abstained from all dairy. I've abstained from all processed foods. I've abstained from all alcohol. And I've stayed low sodium. And at this point, this is when most people are like, what do you eat? And at first that was extremely daunting for me too. That is why the Atkins diet always worked for me, because I'm like, yippee, bacon, cheese, meat, feed me. And I would do so good and lose so much weight because I'm a meat eater and I love meat. Red meat, I don't care what color the meat is, I would eat it. However, there had to be reasons. Again, I do not like being told do something with no reason why. It makes no sense to me. So I needed to understand the reasons. So I started researching. And when I started researching, I started learning so much about the detrimental effects on animal fat and animal meat, dairy products, processed foods, refined sugars on our bodies. It's incredible. And this is when I'm going to sound probably a little hippy-dippy. But if you do the research and you start reading, and I'm going to give you a list of resources at the bottom of this post. I'll post the links below. If you start doing the research, I'm telling you, you are going to go, wait, what? Because as Americans, we are consumers. We consume everything. We are a quick culture. We want things fast. And I'm so surprised we do research about so much other stuff, and we always want to be informed and feel like we're being, progressive about our choices. But when it comes to food, we're so easily enticed with, these humongous companies that market things for our children and for us. And I'm surprised how few people, including myself, take a real look at where our food is coming from and what they're doing to our foods. Research is totally proving the effects of animal meat and dairy and refined sugars on our culture, on its ridiculous rate of cancer, heart disease, osteoporosis, rheumatoid arthritis, cancer, breast cancer, prostate cancer, dementia. I mean, it's crazy. Chronic fatigue syndrome, IBS. You could make lists right now of all the people you know that deal with all these different things. And to think that it does not come from our food is complete ignorance. To think that it's not going to happen to you or your children or your husband or someone in your family is even more ignorant, in my opinion, now that I'm learning. The fact that I was like, sweet, here's an Uncrustable, and, but have an apple because that's good, or, for my kids, and then just like fully fueling them with preservatives, things that have been shot up with antibiotics, that have been genetically modified, fruits and vegetables that have been sprayed 3 times with pesticides, herbicides, all these different things, and then expecting nothing to happen to our bodies is a little insane. It's a little crazy. So I'm going to add links for like research-based, websites and blogs that you can go learn about what I'm speaking about. Um, because this stuff is important. I think that I needed to see not just that the food was making me fat, but again, going a little deeper and seeing that the food is making me unhealthy. And all the different things I'm dealing with are directly from the food I'm putting in my body. And step further, I'm now responsible for feeding my family correctly. And I I don't want to set them up for failure. I mean, it's not even about being better than someone because you eat vegan or, being smarter because you're choosing organic food, which was my major annoyance with people who are like, I'm gluten free. I'm like, whatever, you know, I eat McDonald's, whatever, it's not even about that anymore. It's about making educated choices. And now that I know, I can't unknow what I know um, about what they do to the animals before. I can no longer like pick a chicken breast off, at the grocery store and not think about these enormously fat chickens that they're pumping full of antibiotics. They can't even walk, and think that I'm like, oh yeah, well it's okay. I'll still eat the fat, non-walking chicken. No, it's is not going to be good for my body, which in turn is going to create symptoms and reactions that I don't want to happen. Um, so, uh, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Those are the foods I stay away from. Also, not even if that research wasn't there, those foods, red meat, dairy, processed foods, are all very high in saturated fat, calories, sugar, um, sodium, cholesterol. I mean, that's just fact. And those are not good for your body. Proven fact, not good. In large amounts, in moderate amounts. They're just, if you don't have to eat it, why would you? Um, Now, don't get me wrong. I will have, I'm going to have some cheese at some point because I love cheese. What I'm saying is, though, is it's a way of life for most people. A way of life to not think about the effects of food on your body, especially in America where it's very much like, I eat what I want. I think we need to start thinking more about what we're eating, what we're putting into our mouth. So I'm going to answer questions. I've been getting in like tons and tons and tons and tons of questions, and I want to answer them for you as best as I can and as quickly as I can. So what do I eat? I answered that. Do I eat? I think a lot of people were a little surprised by the weight loss situation when I lost like 17.5 pounds in a month, and it's still coming off. Um, and they're like, she's starving herself. I knew it. And nothing could be farther from the truth. Please come to my house and I'll show you. I eat at least 6 times a day, and not just a little bit. I eat good food because you can when you're eating healthy foods, clean foods, fruits and vegetables, foods that are high in fiber, beans, legumes, fish, foods that water, which I never drank before. Foods that are clean and healthy, organic fruits, vegetables, and sprouts you can eat them, and you can eat a lot of them. Why don't you cheat? I need to cheat. I've had a lot of people be like, that's crazy, you haven't cheated in 6 weeks. That's nuts. I have to cheat to stay on a diet. And I tell you that I understand that. When I was on Weight Watchers for the first 10 years of our marriage, I thought I needed to cheat in order to stay on something to feel normal. But the deal for me is that, and this may just be me, usually cheating once makes me feel like I'm able to continue cheating when it works for me, as opposed to commitment to something. I'm not saying I'm never going to cheat. I just know for me, I created in my mind at least like a 3-month period where I needed to be fully committed. And I would challenge you to think about that. You don't need to cheat to stay on something. You think you need to cheat to stay on something. Think about all the other things in your life that you don't cheat on, and you're still there and making it work. You don't need to cheat. I would challenge that. Try to not cheat, because really, just try. I guess that's all I can really say. For me, cheating doesn't need to happen. And honestly, your results will be faster and better if you don't. That's just it. You won't feel like poo either. You won't feel gross. It won't work for my lifestyle. Help. I understand that not everybody's a stay-at-home mom. That part of it's easy for me. I have time to do cooking and preparation, and I do understand that. But also, we if you have access to clean fruits and vegetables and you have access to Ziploc baggies and Tupperware, you can make this part of your lifestyle. I guess that's all I'll really say. Because I think we can make whatever we want work. If you want it bad enough, you can make it work. It might take some adjustment, and it definitely will mean sacrifice. I have had to sacrifice over the past 6 weeks on numerous occasions. But it's worth it, and you can make it work. Does it cost more? For us, Sean and I are we're an eat out couple. I mean, we ate probably 4 to 5 dinners at home a week, but we definitely love eating out. We always have since way before we were married. We love eating out. We love nice restaurants. We like ordering good food. It's fun for us. We love eating out as a family. So for us, it's really been a wash because we haven't eaten out a lot. We haven't eaten at a restaurant in 7 weeks. The only place I've gone is Chipotle, and I got Sean was on business, and I was like losing my mind. I'm like, I need to get out of this house. So I went to Chipotle and got the lettuce with chicken and their like bell pepper, onion salsa. And that was it. But that's been the only place I've gone. We haven't eaten out. So for us, it's basically been a wash because we're not spending the money on that. Also, I would say a beautiful part of preparing your food and learning how to cook, every single meal and be conscientious about it is exactly how much you're going to consume. So you usually don't overbuy. When I was kind of just arbitrarily cooking and everything, I would go to the store and I'd be like, this looks good, fill the cart full of all the yummy foods. And now I'm a little more conscious about what we're eating and what we're not eating, so we actually kind of buy less. Yes, organic food is more expensive, especially if you're buying meats. When we're buying fish and chicken, we know exactly the farmer it comes from, where it's coming from, and we've researched the place, and it is more expensive. But you want it to be more expensive because it's way better, way better. So I would say, yes, it will cost a little bit more because organic fruits and vegetables are a little more, but you also can get some great organic fruits and vegetables at the farmer's market. Sprouts usually has really good sales. I would try Fresh and Easy. They have good organic vegetables on sale occasionally. Traders has good stuff. Research your local farms. Lots of times you can go pick them up. You can do CSA boxes. There are options for sure. And if you need help, email me. Working out, how much? Like I said in the blog post, the first month I didn't work out often. I probably worked out twice a week, which really isn't a lot. But now in the past probably 2.5 weeks, I've been ramping up my exercise and I am trying to be active every single day. Not running every single day, even though I love running. I love to run every single day. My ankle starts to hurt. So I run probably every third day, and the 2 days in between, while I'm giving my bones a break, I do power walks with the kids, hikes. I just try and be busy with them, active, outside, outdoors with them. And then I also take a class with my brother, who is amazing, on 1 day a week, if I can make it. But I'm trying to be active every single day. Walking. Now, yeah, and it just feels good. It feels good. Going out, how do you do it? I go out all the time. I did get this question a lot, and I totally hear you. In the past 6 weeks, we've gone to numerous gatherings, parties, get-togethers with the ladies, birthday parties, holiday events. In the first week alone, I had a birthday party, St. Patrick's Day, a night out with the girls, and one other event. 4 events within the first week. None of the food I could eat there. And I understand that, and it's hard. It's hard during the first few weeks, especially first week or two, because you feel like, this is so unfair. Look at these thin people eating. And you feel like you're the only person who can't eat like that. But you need to be prepared. Eat before you go. Bring a snack. And pretty soon you start going to things, and you realize there are some foods there that you can eat. And you also realize you don't necessarily really want an enormous piece of pizza. Not because it's not good, because yes, it'll taste good and it'll be fine. And not because you can't have it, because you can, but because of how it's going to make you feel eventually. And because you don't know where it's coming from, you don't know what's in it. And I would challenge our idea of what normal is. Is it normal to go and eat tons and tons of sugar and fattening foods? I mean, does it have to be normal? Can you still go and have an amazing time with your friends and still be around them and not partake in the food? I think we all can. So it gets easier. It's hard at the beginning, but it gets easier. I did get a couple questions asking if I view the whole thing as vain, focusing on your outward appearance and talking about it so much and dealing with it. And to that, I really don't want to even engage in that line of thinking. I feel like people who might say that and judge that, I see a lot of negativity in the blogosphere, especially with Christian bloggers and online, always having something bad to say about every single thing that everybody's doing. And my answer to that, and anybody else who gives you pushback for starting to care about your body and how it functions and taking care of it, would just be, you know what, this is between me and the Lord. Because in the end, if you are following God and what you feel like He has brought into your life to do, and you're listening to Him, that's all that matters, not what other people think. And the last one of the last things I want to leave with you is how I was talking about when we compartmentalize our symptoms. I wanted to tell you the list of symptoms I had on that morning I sat with my brother and explain to you that I had them and what they were in case you're dealing with them. I wrote about it in the blog post, but in case you didn't read that. Before I started this, I was dealing with fatigue, like when you're pregnant and you're that tired. I was dealing with that almost daily. Bloating and swelling due to sodium intake. Headaches almost daily. I was taking ibuprofen probably daily. Sleeplessness, even though I was exhausted. Increased anxiety, anger. It ramped up my depression. I've dealt with depression since I was pregnant with Frankie, even before, and it just elevated it. Super bad cramps and PMS symptoms, super bad every month. Skin breakouts, heartburn, indigestion, pain and cramps from eating. Almost every time after a food I felt uncomfortable. And within a week and a half, you guys, literally all of those symptoms were depleted or gone. Now, depression cannot be cured by diet, I don't think, my personal opinion. But it can be lessened. The triggers for it can be lessened. You being able to see that it's coming can be lessened or can be heightened. And when you are healthy, mind, body, and soul, you're ready to tackle the problems that this world presents quicker, better, more efficiently. And it kind of makes me think that as a culture, we are so overly medicated for all this list of stuff. And we really do, like the quote says, let food be thy medicine. I get so excited about this lifestyle shift that we're on because I feel like it could solve so many problems for people. I just do. And I'm excited about it. And I want it for you. So many of you came out of the woodworks when I posted that. And they're like, I'm dealing with it too. And I just want you to be encouraged. So this has been like longest video ever. And I'm so sorry. So if you've hung with me this long, thank you, thank you. I want to leave with, please read the links at the bottom of this post. I posted just a few. I mean, there are thousands of links, but these are just a few that I thought might be helpful to you if you're just starting out on this journey, or if you need a little encouragement. Be encouraged. I would encourage you that you can do this. You can start a health journey and see it through. It doesn't have to be like every other time you thought, I'm going to be healthy, because maybe now you're ready to base it on more than just losing weight. It's based on taking care of the body God gave you. Putting the best in so you can give the best to those around you and back to Him. And then email me if you have any questions or thoughts. or if you want to share something, I would love to hear about it. And I would love to, share it with my readers too. Because I love hearing from you. And really, that's the only reason I'm doing this vlog, is to share with you guys so that, it can help you. Because I feel like I have this valuable information, and maybe everybody already knows about it, but I don't think so. I just want you to be encouraged that you can feel better than you feel right now if you feel how I felt March 11th. And yes, thank you for watching this. And I will be sharing again a weight related post or video in about 2 weeks when it's my 2-month marker. I'm really excited, and I'm going to get my blood pressure taken. And I am really hoping for good results with that, with my weight, my BMI. But like I said, most importantly, it's about how you feel in here, and it's about just a renewed sense of living for Christ and living the best life you can so you can do the best for him. That's really what it's all about for me. But it doesn't hurt that my pants are loose. Okay, I will see you guys later. Bye.